Hi guys. So I recently heard about Aventurine and Acheron. It's hard to not look at these leaks that I see online on YouTube because they just pop up. I don't know how, but they just pop up. They just have good traction, I guess. Especially since there's like not much else to do other than speculate on these characters. But yeah, the upcoming new characters, Aventurine. Let's start with him because he seems to be the most interesting. Cause Acheron is we kind of already know what she does, but yeah. So I'm gonna, cause I did write down like a list of questions what I think about each one of them, so it's like easier to talk about. All right. So the first thing is, does he seem good, and what does he do? Now, when I first looked at his kit, he seems really good. Like compared to the rest of the supports, I feel like he stands out and he's like a tier above them too. Not only that, yeah. But yeah, what does he do? So he basically puts out a AOE shield with his skill. His normal attack does damage based on his defense, which is new, because no other character has a basic attack that scales off defense, because every other character either scales off attack or HP, kind of like Lynx or Fushuan that scale off HP. But yeah, he's the first guy that scales off defense, and that is really nice, because March scales off defense with her shields, but her follow up does not, which kind of doesn't make sense. But over here it's different. They actually have better quality of life stat scaling, which yeah, that's really a big thing. I feel like. So yeah, his skill applies a stackable shield to all allies based on the Venturine's defense. So you just want to stack that defense, get all the defense LCs ready or defense sets because we already have some really good defense equips. So apparently he also has like some sort of card mechanic. It's like A B C D, and then it's like random, I guess. But it doesn't really talk much about it, so there's not much to talk about the cards. But yeah, you just get a shield based on the Venturine's defense, everyone, and they stack. So you want to keep getting more. And his ultimate, he gains coins, and apparently it does damage based on your defense, imaginary damage based on your defense, with a chance of increasing the target's incoming crit rate. So it's like a crit damage buff for like, I'm guessing probably 2 turns, because that's usually the case for most ultimates that do damage. So a 2 turn crit damage debuff to enemies that increase your. It's like some sort of exposure debuff. Yeah, something like that. Uh, it says that the crit damage of the skill can be buffed by the effect of this instant. Oh, so the damage of the ultimate itself also gets applied by the buff, so it's like instantly applies to the damage. So it doesn't happen after you hit them. It happens the instant you cast the ulti, which is yeah. That should be the thing because that'd be really tilting if it doesn't apply to that big hit. And his talent basically allows allies to help Aventurine gain a coin whenever they attack. So he has like some sort of stacking mechanic where every time he gains a coin, he consumes all coins, a total of 6, and then he does multiple damage to random targets. So it's like a AoE burst of many hits. Yeah, it's random. Multiple instances with a chance of lowering the target's effect hit rate, which is really insane because if you lower the hit rate, then that means you can't get debuffed, right? Yeah. And then also, all allies underneath the shield will also discard their card and pull a new one. So they all get like a new card after they consume the coins. Yeah, that I'm gonna have to skip over that. But yeah, I've also heard that his bonus abilities, one of them allows him to do follow-up attacks based on his defense. But yeah, his talent. I'm guessing the talent is the follow up attack. The 6 coins. Every time you get 6 coins, kind of like how Blade, he stacks up the 5 things and he does the follow up attack. But yeah, he does the follow up attack, and it's really easy to do because anyone that has a shield, when they attack, they get 1 coin. So your team needs to attack 6 times, and then he does a follow up attack. So it's a really nice addition to follow up teams. I feel like it's perfect for Topaz, especially since he also has a bonus ability where anyone that has a shield increases their effect resistance. I feel like that's the biggest part of his kit. Increasing effective resistance. It doesn't really say how much, but I'm guessing it has to be at least 30, right? But yeah, that is what I was looking for actually before he even came. Before this stuff even came out. That's what I thought of. Having some sort of debuff resist or blockage. But yeah, it's not 100%, but it's good enough. Like at least there's a chance that he blocks all of them. Hopefully it's like more than 30%. But yeah, next thing is probably how would he compare with Fu Xuan and other sustainers? I think he's actually gonna be the best support if this is true. Like all these info is true. I feel like he's gonna be the best support. Like he provides everyone shields. And then he also blocks debuffs. Like the only person that could relatively like do that is like Ho Ho. She blocks 6 debuffs per heal. But even then, it's like there are certain characters where it still doesn't protect them from like blocking their attack. You know how Jing Yuan, whenever he gets debuffed or stunned or anything like that, the the Lightning Lord doesn't go until the debuff is removed. But the only way the debuff is removed is when he takes a turn, and that's how Ho Ho's talent gets activated. It's when he takes a turn and he gets healed, and then the debuff gets removed. And by that time, it's kind of too late because the Lightning Lord already got delayed. So yeah, there are a lot of characters that happen like that, kind of like how Blade is. He can't use his passive until it's his turn. So that's why I see Aventurine being ahead of him. Compared to Locha, I mean, he's not a healer, but he is a shielder. Uh, there, I feel like he's on par with Locha too when it comes to sustaining itself, because he provides shields for everyone. So, I mean, it might not be able to shield all damage, but I feel like usually shields are capable of deflecting basically anything that's not like a big main hit, based on how Japard works. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing it probably should be either at least half as big as Japard's shields, and Japard's shields are huge. So yeah, like I'm just trying to compare him, like how I compared Ho Ho and Locha, and Ho Ho heals a lot. I think that's really just it. He's probably gonna be the best support. I think. Is he worth rolling for on a free to play account? Now it is weird if you don't have a follow up team, but I still feel like yes, he is. He is definitely worth rolling for. I think I'm definitely gonna roll for him. If I do have enough rolls, that is, because I am going for Acheron first and her light cone. But yeah, he is definitely worth rolling for, especially if you don't have Fu Xuan or Ho Ho. If you have Locha, you definitely want to roll for him because Locha doesn't. Well, he does have one debuff remover, but one isn't enough. Because it seems to me that every single new update, they add new debuffs or stuns or even monsters that just stun everyone. Okay, now for the next character, Acheron. She's gonna be the Lightning Nihility AoE DPS. Now, how good of a DPS is she? Now, I'll just say that any single new DPS that comes out is 70% chance that they're gonna be the next strongest. That's how likely a new character is gonna be stronger. Now, you can see from Argenti, he's not stronger than Jing Liu, but like that's because he's more focused on pure fiction stuff. He is still the number one pure fiction clearer, Now it come now if it compares to Jing Liu, I feel like yes, I feel like Acheron is stronger than Jing Liu based on the wait, hold up. Based on the info. So her talent is to basically not use energy, but instead use a mechanic that uses flowers. A total of 9 flowers. And every time she hits someone, she gets a flower. But whenever she uses the skill, it hits everyone, and only the main target gets 2 flowers. Okay, no, it doesn't hit everyone, but it does a blast attack. So it's not as good as Argenti's skill, but it's blast, so it's good enough for pure fiction. And that's really just all for her skill. I don't know if the flowers count as a debuff, but I'm guessing it does because that's what happened to Topaz whenever she applies the picky thing. I mean that it could change. I really do hope the flowers count as a debuff, so she could use that debuff set, the 4-piece debuff set, because I feel like that would be really strong on Acheron. And now her ultimate. Her ultimate reduces damage resistance to all enemies during the duration of the ultimate. The ultimate seems to be like a spectral state, like Jing Liu's thing. Now, she has 4 actions. Okay, it says that Acheron performs 4 distinct actions in quick succession, so she does it all in one go? It's not really specific enough to know because it says 4 actions, so maybe she attacks in like 4 different turns, but hopefully that's not the case because that might take too long to activate an ultimate. But yeah, let's just say it's all in one go because it says quick succession. So yeah, so what her ultimate does is that it does multiple, like a lot of hits. The first action does 2 hits against people that have the most flowers, which uses 3 flowers up, and it's AoE. And then the second action does a 3 hit against one enemy with the most. Wait. So only partial AoE, I guess. It hits one enemy with the most flowers again, deducting the flower count by 3. And then the third action performs 1 hit again with the most flowers, reducing their flower count by 3 again. So it's like 3 flowers per hit. I mean, per action of the ultimate. So I don't know what's the best way to think of this, but maybe if you play League of Legends and then there's like Master Yi Alpha Strike, and you know how it bounces around, something like that. It just keeps bouncing around depending on which one has the most flower it targets. So it's kind of like Argenti's ultimate, but more flexible. The fourth action does a 2-hit AoE against all enemies without any flowers, so yeah, it's like a guaranteed AoE hit. So it's really powerful, I think. I think it's really flexible of ultimate. Especially the fact that you don't use energy, but you use flowers though. And I see that her bonus abilities, her first one, whenever she enters combat, she applies flowers to the strongest enemy. So she automatically generates like I'm guessing 1 or 2 flowers at the start of combat, which is really nice for MLC. I don't know about pure fiction though because it's only at the start of the combat, so I don't know what counts as starting as the start of the combat. Probably one time, but yeah, so it's not that good with pure fiction. Her second ability is that whenever there's a Nihility teammate in the party, it increases the damage of all Acheron's attacks by a percentage. So I'm guessing probably like 15% attack. If there are at least 2 of them, increase damage of all Acheron's attack by. So it's like a straight up DPS increase, a damage buff. Whenever there's at least 2 Nihility teammates, which it kind of limits the team if you're required to have 2 Nihility teammates. The third ability is whenever you consume flowers, it applies damage buff to Acheron for a number of turns. I'm guessing 2 turns or 3 turns. and you can stack it up too. So depending on how many flowers you use, it gives you stronger damage. So basically, whenever you use the ultimate, you get a damage buff, which is a really powerful kit. I feel like. So yeah, you can see how good she is. The, just seeing all these like hits that she does. Now, how would she compare to Jingliu? I feel like just based on the description, I feel like she's way stronger.
Nice.
And I mean, I guess there are limitations since she can't use Tang Yun and Ho Ho as effectively as other DPSs can. She'll probably most likely use like Grania or Sparkle or anyone that increases speed like Yuanmei, Hanya. I feel like Hanya is a really good addition because she uses skill points every time to add more flowers. So Hanya fixes that. Not only that, but Hanya's ultimate increases attack and speed, and that's perfect for Acheron. Acheron wants speed so that she can apply the skill again. So yeah, any speed or advancement buffers are perfect with Acheron. Now, because she's probably gonna be stronger than Jing Liu, obviously she's gonna be stronger than the rest of DPS. There aren't much difference compared to like much DPS specialties because it's like she is blast attack, so she does well in both purification and MLC, so she's like an all-in-one unit. Now, is she worth rolling for as a free-to-play account? Um, Now this one really depends because usually DPSs they're gonna get power creep one day sooner or later, depending on how long. Now I think that Acheron might actually last for a long time, so you do want to roll for this on a free to play account. I just feel like she is way above the curve, especially since Lightning seems to be a pretty well sought after element because every single robot is weak to Lightning. Um, what else is weak to lightning? I think those. I mean, the fangirls are the stupid fangirls that stun you. I think they're weak to physical and imaginary. Maybe lightning, because I remember I saw a purple element there too. So yeah, lightning is really popular. I think yeah, that's it. Let me know if you guys will roll on
Nice.
Aventurine or Acheron. And if you guys have any other info that I might have missed out, you could let me know in the comments. Thanks.